I was pulling up a hill that's known as a Devil's Crest.
I'm Bruce Andrews here on an absolutely gorgeous morning in July at the Worcester Sand and Gravel, where we're going to do a walkthrough of some antique trucks that belong to a number of owners that are here to exhibit them in the 12th annual Antique Truck Show.
Hi, Mike Trotto of Worcester Sand and Gravel Company, just a board of directors of the Bay State chapter of the Antique Truck Show Association.
And you are?
Brian Lawler, president of the Bay State chapter of the Antique Truck Club of America.
Excellent.
Fran Mercadanti, founder of the chapter 12 years ago.
So we have all the leadership here with us this morning. What a beautiful morning to be here and see all of these antique trucks. We must have, I don't know, 100, 120, do you know how many we've got?
150.
150 trucks here on exhibit today. We're going to do a walkthrough, we're going to look at a bunch of them, and we're going to talk to some of the owners. And we're awful happy to see you here. And if you get a chance, you got to come over. This is an annual event, and look for it in your newspapers, and we'll be back to you. Thanks a lot.
She's a two-stack Mack with a bunk in the back, and she's crawled from head to toe. She's got a screaming cat that won't hold back, so hammer down, boys, let her go. She's a lady who the night with her chicken lights, I guess a couple hundred or so. I get lost in the lines and the way she whines of that XM radio. Hey, Mr. DJ, play me a song.
I'm here with Mike Trotto of the Worcester Sand and Gravel, and wanted to tell a little bit about this beautiful truck. It has a history, does it not, Mike?
Yes, this truck was bought, it's a 1964, was bought brand new by the City of Worcester Public Works Department, and they traded it in about 15 years ago, and I purchased it and restored it. It has about 80,000 original miles on it. And we did a lot of work on it. It took 2 or 3 years to do the work on it, as you see today. And when we got through with it, there's a local artist and truck letter in town from Shrewsbury, Donnie Hahn, and he lettered up this truck for me about 3 or 4 years ago. And in 1955, he lettered up trucks for us that we have here that we could show you probably later on. And we're proud of this thing. We drive it to all the truck shows nationally and local. 6 or 8 weeks ago, last month, we drove it to Allentown, Macungie, Pennsylvania. We visited the Mack Truck Factory and the Mack Truck Museum. And we had Fox News there, and they had this truck on Fox News on Saturday night. And last weekend, we drove it up to Owl's Head, Maine, at the Owl's Head Transportation Museum. And that's a long-standing transportation museum. It's exactly what it says. It not only has trucks, it has antique airplanes and trucks and steam shovels and steam rollers and steam trains.
Wonderful.
So we have a good time showing these trucks at the various shows.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. We got a very interesting truck here that Mike would like to tell us a little bit about.
This is about a 1929 D Martini which was built by a man by the name of D Martini. This fellow built a fleet of these trucks for the city of San Francisco. It's garbage trucks. This truck has a dual brake system in it. It has a hydraulic brake system in it and also a mechanical brake system for those hills that you know are in San Francisco. So if one brake failed, we still had another set of brakes to stop the thing. They built a whole fleet of these, not just for garbage trucks, for many uses. But this one here we bought around 1990, and we restored it, and here it is in our truck shows.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. Here with this gentleman who calls himself Merck. I guess everybody knows him by the title Merck. And we're with an international 1957 international truck, and I wanted to have Merck tell us a little bit about it.
Hi, it's 1957 International S120 4x4, which means all-wheel drive. It's one of the first four-wheel drives manufactured for the public to buy outright. This truck came out of Oregon. Has 45,000 miles on it. It runs real super. It's not rotted out or anything like that. I picked it up from a gentleman in Ashby, Massachusetts about 6 months ago. My intentions are to probably just clean it up and give it a quick paint job.
Thank you, Merck. I'd like to ask a couple questions here. Merck, you're involved in this whole display in some fashion. What's your role here?
I started this chapter back 12 years ago. This is our 12th show, and I got 4 other people together and started the Antique Truck Club Bay State chapter, and this is our 12th meeting, and I am former president for about 6 years, but now I'm just on the top on the board, you know. Wonderful. And I help organize it, and we've got quite a few members.
Wonderful.
And it's just a good event we have, and we also go to other chapter events and give them some support. And it's just a good hobby. It's family oriented. The kids like to see some of the stuff. And at this particular show today, we got some antique construction equipment going to be digging in the backyard. And that's another great adventure of shovels and bulldozers that are 40 or 50 years old but still working.
Great. Thanks very much, Merck. And we'll go down and take a look at those trucks down in the sand, playing in the dirt. And I'm here on an absolutely beautiful Sunday with Bruce Weber with this incredible Ford truck that has Worcester Telegram on the side. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Bruce?
Well, yes, my wife and I own it, and I restored it with her permission, and which is required.
Yeah.
I've owned it for many years. I did nothing with it for many years. I'm basically the third owner from the Worcester Telegram and Gazette, and the second owner did nothing with it but store it.
Yeah.
Never got to restore it, so I purchased it from him and restored it, both mechanically and cosmetically.
Okay.
And it's fully functional. Very interesting.
What year is this truck?
1939.
39.
The first year of Ford trucks with hydraulic brakes.
What role did it play with the Worcester Telegram and Gazette, if any?
Well, back then, your local paperboy got his papers delivered to the street corner by a truck from Worcester Telegram and Gazette. And they had a fleet of these trucks, and they used this record to retrieve them if one broke down.
All right. And so you've restored this. This has taken you how long to restore?
It's been in the restoration process probably almost 15 years.
That's amazing. And what a beautiful piece of work. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Monday morning, he's kissing mama goodbye. He's up and gone with the sun. Daddy drives that 18-wheeler, and he's off on a Midwest run. Three sad faces gather around mama. They ask her when Daddy's coming home. Yeah, Daddy drives that 18-wheeler, and they sure miss him when he's gone. Yeah, they do. But he calls them every night and tells them that he loves them. And he taught him the song to sing. Roll on, highway, roll on along. Roll on, Daddy, till you get back home. Roll on, family, roll on, crew, roll on, mama.
Hi, this is Bruce Andrews. We're going to wrap up our shoot here today at this beautiful exhibition of antique trucks. Just a fantastic thing to view. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I had to think about playing in the dirt when I was a kid. I'm sure that all boys and girls growing up wanted to play in the sand and in the dirt. Well, we did that today, but for adults only. This is absolutely gorgeous, and thanks so much for being here. Stay tuned for next year when it happens again about the same time, the end of July. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
I was pulling up a hill that's known as a Devil's Crest, hauling 36 ton on a run called the Nitro Express. There was nothing but curves a running from the top on down, and at the bottom of the grade sat a quiet little country town.
Well, I was driving off the top when she jarred and the drive shaft broke. Started pumping up the brakes, saw 'em going in a big cloud of smoke. To keep her upright, I knew I had to do my best against a runaway bomb they call the Nitro Express.
There was 36 ton of a detonated steel, over 18 tires that smoked and squealed. I had to ride her down and I couldn't jump free, or there'd be a big hole where that little town used to be.
Well, that old trailer leaned each time that I took another curve. My hands started sweating and I knew I was losing my nerve. And I was cussing each rock and every inch of the Devil's Crest, while fighting with the wheel of a rig called the Nitro Express.
I sideswiped a mountain so I'd slow her down by rubbing her side. And when the sparks started flying, man, it looked like the 4th of July. I finally got her stopped, but mister, I'm gonna confess, that's the last run I'm making in a rig called the Nitro Express. There was 36 ton of a detonated steel, over 18 tires that smoked and squealed. I had to ride her down and I couldn't jump free, or there'd be a big hole where that little town used to be. There was 36 ton of a detonated steel, over 18 tires that smoked and squealed. I had to ride her down and I couldn't jump free, or there'll be a
big hole where that little town used to be. Hey, Red, you still driving that Nitro Express?
Nah, I got out of that mess.
Well, I don't blame you. That's a tough road to hoe.
Dudley even quit.
Dudley even quit.
Yeah, he gone.
He's back at the house watching TV.
Sing it again.
Trucking, got my chips cashed in. Keep trucking, like the Doodah Man. Together, more or less in line. Just keep trucking on.
Arrows of neon and flashing marquees out on Main Street. Chicago, New York, Detroit, and it's all on the same street. A typical city involved in a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings.
Dallas, got a soft machine. Houston, too close to New Orleans. New York, got the ways and means and just won't let you be.
Most of the cats that you meet on the street speak of true love. Most of the time they're sitting and crying at home. One of these days they know they gotta get going. Out of the door and down to the street all alone.
Trucking like a Doodah Man once told me you got to pay your hand. Sometimes the cards ain't worth a dime if you don't lay 'em down. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me. What a long, strange trip it's been.
What in the world ever became of Sweet Jane? She lost her sparkle, you know she isn't the same. Living on reds, vitamin C and cocaine. All a friend can say is ain't it a shame?
Trucking up the buffalo, been thinking you got to mellow slow. It takes time to pick a place to go and just keep trucking on.
Sitting and staring out of the hotel window. Got a tip they're gonna kick the door in again. I'd like to get some sleep before I travel. But if you got a warrant, I guess you're gonna come in.
Busted down on Bourbon Street, set up like a bowling pin. Knocked down, it gets to wearing thin. They just won't let you be.
You're sick of hanging around and you like to travel. Get tired of traveling, you wanna settle down. I guess I can't revoke your soul trying. Get out of the door, light out and look all around.
Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me. What a long, strange trip it's been. Trucking